you applying it? What do you do when you hear something? Like, give me an idea. You've gone from toying with the real estate license, getting your designations, stumbling into this, and liking this kind of vibe here. Now tell me what you've applied to convert that into money to get away from your W-2.
Still working on it.
So then let me ask you some basic questions. And again, gang, I work for you, so we'll take this any direction you want to go. I have an agenda, but it's not nearly as important as yours. So listening to what Sherry's saying, trying to drive away from the W-2 would require a lot more of an intimate discussion. But generally speaking, out of curiosity, Sherry, do you file tax returns?
Yes.
Okay. Here's an easy basic thought. The question would be, what type of conversation are you having with that partner? Now, again, in this present moment, Sherry, without knowing all the details, that may be somebody that has only ever filed your tax returns. And I say only ever because you may have hired a service provider, an accountant.
Right.
My mind looks at things and sees things differently. So I'm going to say exactly what's in my head and how I built the board, right? The thought process is, I am looking for a partner who's going to contribute to the growth of my company so they can get paid to do what they want to do by the company. And this is recorded, so you can watch that again, but I'll repeat it for you. I'm looking for a partner who's going to contribute to the corporation so they can get paid by the corporation to do what they want to do, meaning file taxes. Well, if this company doesn't make any money, I don't need you. So the thought process is, how can we do this together? Accountants, how can we do this together? And I'll even go to this, even though it's not necessarily the direction I was headed this morning, but survey. To me, everything's a survey. If you've been to my calls often enough, you know I don't go anywhere without my clipboard because everything is a survey. Jokingly getting that into your head, survey. So here's the thought, Cher. If I may provide a path and challenge you, the thought process is this. Are you courageous enough to take a step when you don't see the path? Think about that. Courageous might be a very difficult word. Are you confident enough? Do you believe enough? Do you have enough faith in yourself that if you take that step on the path you don't see, that amazingly before your foot hits the floor, there is a floor, there is a path, there is a stepping stone. Here's what I mean when I say that. Sometimes people want to see the path before they move. And that causes them to stay stagnant for quite some time because they can't get out of their own way. I'm the guy that says, if you have faith in yourself and what you've just learned, take the step. To what? Take the step. Call your accountant. Here's where I'm building up to this. When you call your accountant, you are essentially communicating with someone that knows everything about your finances because they file your tax returns. So just think about the fundamental aspect of what this guy or girl knows. Everything about what you do for a living, the W-2, started the real estate company, got your designations, looking to try and get away from the W-2. Hey, accountant, the guy or girl that knows everything about me, I need clients. I need clients. You have, by any chance, how many clients do you have? 300, 200. So I'll share this with you, Cher, in line with the drive to get into the senior space, if you will. Let's go different color. We'll talk about something else. So it's 3, 6, 8, 20, D, D, D. Now, Heather and Kristen might have this memorized, which I hope because they come to the other call, but here's the example. You need to know the data. 3, 6, 8, 20, DDD. Here's the data. 3 people out of every 100 are going to buy or sell real estate in the next 12 months. And fact check me, these are all facts. 6 people are going to marry. 8 people are going to relocate. 20%, 20 out of every 100 are investors. You can go to the IRS site for that. Somebody's going to die, divorce, downsize. Do your homework. Make sure I'm not misleading you. These are all facts I pull off the internet. I typically go 3 different sources, collect the data, and populate it into one. This number is normally around 7%. Now, today, it's around 3. But if we just understand this, all of these numbers out of every 100 people is going to do one of those things. So the question, Cher, is this. I teach this at nauseum. It is fundamentally the most basic thing to know. Your accountant, what you need to know, what every person on this call needs to know, how many clients they have. I call it the BS. BS, book and sources, book and sources, book and sources. How many clients do they have? Where do they get their business from? Cher, if you do nothing else, think about this for a second. You now have the data, and I'll add one more for you because that's the space you're enjoying at the moment. 67% of the population up to age 72 doesn't have a will or a trust. 19% of the population after age 72 doesn't have a will or a trust. What does that tell you? Up to that point, they either didn't want to get it because they didn't see a need, they thought they were going to live forever, or something happened in the life that made them wake up. So look at that. That's incredibly interesting data. So my point is, if you take all of these statistics and apply them to your partner, knowing how many clients they have, you can back these numbers into that and realize what the opportunities might be for you. And the reason I always start, I call it the 100% rule. 100% of everyone I know files tax returns. Can't avoid it. There are some people that are doing things illegally, and that's another story for another day. Generally speaking, you got to file tax returns. So to me, that's a 100% rule. The next 100% rule is you either have homeowners insurance, renters insurance, or automobile insurance. 100%, right? So I always start at the 100%ers. This is in my mind. This is how I created the board of directors from my perspective, and then taught the other coaches. I've been working with Felicia for years. She's doing a magnificent job with it. But conceptually, how did this all begin? Not 100 people are not going to buy or sell a piece of real estate this year. They're just not. But 100 of them are going to file their taxes. So I look at that. And then I say, okay, now when I have the data about what everybody needs to do, and I find out how many clients he or she has, I take this, I teach it to them, and I say, let's apply this here. Who you got for me? Don't you love me? I love you. I've been paying you for 5 years, brother. Don't you love me? Where's the love? Help me out. I'm trying to break away from the chains of the W-2, and I can do it with the right people. I've been paying you 3, 4, 5, 6 years to file my tax returns. I'm calling the marker, brother. Hey, can you help me out? So, Cher, when you look at it like this is why I tell everybody, like, real estate's hard. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Real estate is hard. Are you building the house? No. Are you demolishing the house? No. Are you decorating the house? No. Are you landscaping it? No. What's hard about real estate? I'm confused. So really, when you peel that back and you be a little bit more honest, what are you actually saying? My performance isn't good enough to get somebody to give me the largest transaction of their lives. Aha. Has nothing to do with real estate. Why do you think I teach all the time? I'm a perspective coach. Has nothing to do with real estate. Your performance is an indication of what you are actually talented at. So when people say real estate is hard, I jokingly say, do you build that? No. And I just go through that jokingly, sarcastically, but get in there, recognize real estate. You're not doing real estate. You're a performer. And unfortunately, a poor one because you have no business. If you want a different kind of love, go to a different kind of coach. This is the reality of the situation. So what I do is I walk you through, hey, we recognize now real estate is not hard because you're not doing the hard work. It's about your performance. It is about your ability to stand in front of someone or many people and deliver the information influentially. That's what needs to be worked on. So to me, when people talk about the senior niche, I think they're missing it. From my perspective, you're the niche. You're the niche. When you work on you, you can plug and play in anything. Anything. So you are the niche. If anybody says, pare down on your niche, let's work on the seniors, let's get everything we need to do, let's get our designations, I don't understand. No matter how many designations you have, and Sherry, don't misinterpret, great job. I'm not taking anything away from that. But some folks have believed that they get the designation and now the business comes. What? No, that's not real. Ask Paul Conti how many designations he has. Zero. Zero. So it's not about the designation. It's about the performance. That's just my perspective. And again, if you don't like my perspective, then you shouldn't come to my calls or go to other people's calls that their vision, their dream, what is it they're teaching more aligns with you. Linda Dow did something amazing the other day. After many years in real estate, I told her she needs to record her presentation in front of 20 plus people. She did. Everybody should be doing that. She did a beautiful job. She recorded the presentation and then she actually sent it to me. You know you're going to get beat up when you do that. But she said, no, I got to send it to this guy. And we worked through that call together. And from my perspective, I brought things to her attention that would help her on her next presentation increase her likelihood of success. See, when you do the recorded call, here's the funny thing I tell everybody all the time. You won't listen to me, but you will listen to you. Let's listen carefully. And it works really well because you get to see yourself. You see, what happens is the performer cannot critique the performance because they're in it. You have to get somebody outside of the performance that is a communications expert. In theory, that would be me or somebody like that. That's then going to take that and walk through together. And then you determine as you get that guidance, was that valuable information? Did that person make a contribution to my performance? And when I apply those things, look at the increase. Wow, this works. And that's what real estate agents do not do. Because they think they watch HDTV, they go get some licenses, they start networking, and now I'm in charge of the largest financial transaction of your life. That is insanity. Insanity. So just to go backwards for a second, Sherry, did all of this make sense in the call that you could make today if you were so inclined? And I'm delighted you're actually in the call today, not doing a W-2, so busy you can't even interact with us. What are your thoughts, Sherry?
I agree with everything you're saying. I love this concept. I need to start kicking myself in the butt and doing it.
Okay. So then give me an idea, and this is like therapy. We're on a couch. Like let's talk about this. Now that you've been given the actual playbook, what to do, what to say, how to do it, what do you think, what do you believe is in front of you, not allowing you to do that? Is there something there that we can't see, or maybe you can't see? What is that?
I think it's fear of failure, probably. I've
Wait a
been doing
second. Wait. Let me interpret this. Thank you, Sherry.
Okay.
This is great.
Okay.
Fear of failure. Wait, let me clarify it for you. You're already failing.
True.
There's nothing to fear. You're already doing it. You're not doing it. You're already failing. So we've accomplished that. Success. There's no fear. I have failed. I'm saying this jokingly, but think about this, gang. Growth doesn't actually happen until you hit failure. And I'm going to give you this example. To this day, I'm still very fortunate that I get to go to the gym in the morning. So I'm still vibrant enough to get there and start to work on this temple. Well, think about this for a second. I'm going to jokingly show this to you. Right? If I just do this with my biceps, I can do this all day. I mean, if you really think we could all do this all day, my biceps are not going to grow. There is no resistance to the muscle. So I could do this all day. But if I think about this now, if I actually put my hand forward, if I stop for a minute, if I mentally wrap my head, my brain, I can see my bicep growing, tearing, getting bigger, and I take my time and I clench my bicep and I slowly move it. I don't have any weights. Slowly move it. I'm shaking. I'm doing this so hard, so hard. I'm starting to actually get hot. Kid you not. There's intention, there's intensity. I'm laser targeted on that to grow. My point is this: you already recognize what you're not doing. So to me, that would be failure. This, I go as hard as I can, and growth doesn't actually happen until I can't go anymore, and then I give it one more. So that's where the growth happens. So you can't get started until you failed. That's my thought process. You actually can't get started. Doing this isn't getting started. This is nothing. Getting started on the growth piece happens on the last rep or two. Now I'm struggling to get one more, but that's where all the growth happens. Push, push. Same concept. Ah, I see everything quite clearly. So what am I afraid of? Something that isn't working? You already figured that out. We have now identified, oh, I'm not doing any of that. It's already not working. So I've already failed is the wrong word. I'm having fun with that. But the thought process would be this. We first have to go all the way back mentally. I say this all the time, but I'll repeat it. We've all heard the phrase, God doesn't give us more than we can handle. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Has everybody heard that phrase? God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Think about this. Immediately, we, as human beings, go to pain and suffering. My husband, my wife, the sickness, the job, this, God, he's not going to give me more than I can handle, so he must think I can handle this. We always equate it to pain and suffering. I don't. God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Think about this. Almost 40% of lottery winners file bankruptcy in 3 years. What? Wait a second. What? Man, if I won that $1 billion, I'm out of here. I'm going to be. Think about this. All that did was put $1 million in your bank account, but it didn't make you a millionaire. That's a mentality. So God doesn't give us more than we can handle because we haven't mentally prepared ourselves for that level of success. It actually means happiness, freedom, luxury, financial success, all those wonderful things. God doesn't give that to us because we're not capable of handling it. And it's proven fact. You think about this. How does anybody file bankruptcy after hitting the lottery? Because you weren't mentally prepared to manage that level of success. I say the same thing here. And building up now to this story, you must put yourself in a position of being the actual CEO of a real estate empire. If you are conducting yourself as a chief executive officer, you're now going to learn how to celebrate every opportunity. It's the same CEO. Celebrate every opportunity. And then when you get somebody like me to say, let's reflect, are you celebrating every opportunity with your accountant? The answer is no. Well, as a chief executive officer, aren't you supposed to celebrate every opportunity? And as the owner of the company, shouldn't the people that are making money from you do what you want them to do? Are you actually an owner or are you an employee? This is a mentality, Shar. So it's easy for me to do this. And then I say, well, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like, why aren't you doing it? And then you say, well, it's fear of failure. But let's strip that away. It's already not working. We already accomplished that. So now what is it? Well, let's get past that. So now we have to get ourselves recognizing, wait, I'm not actually conducting myself as an owner. This isn't fear of failure. I have the wrong title. I was titling myself as a realtor or an employee of the empire. I'm the CEO. As an owner, which many people that get the real estate license don't recognize, you're actually now an owner.
Right.
You are an owner. Well, we've never had ownership training. We've always been an employee. And some of us are still at our W-2 trying to transition to CEO. And for many, that is not necessarily an easy transition because we're so accustomed to being an employee. So now you got to put this hat on that says, I'm the owner. And the tagline Paulie says is, if you earn from me, you're going to learn from me. If you earn from me, you're going to learn from me. So let me teach you what I know. I don't even need to teach you what I do because you do my tax returns, you son of a gun. So let's talk about the data. So if you've got 300 people, you have 9 clients this year that are going to buy or sell real estate. And we're not even talking about the ones that are going to get divorced because that's at like 54% right now. So let's talk about this for a second. You see, the idea is you're sitting down with one of your employees and you're having a conversation to educate and empower them on how to bring something back to the corporation so they can stay on the payroll of the corporation. This is a mentality shift. This has nothing to do with the senior network, the niche, the networking group. I'm going to go do flyers. I'm going to do a print. It has nothing to do with any of that from my perspective.
Mhm.
So when the other 3 superstars that are killing it in real estate want to bring me on to be the perspective coach is because I'm sharing something not so rooted in real estate. I then learn about the industry and then I apply that to the performance. And that's why I say, boy, if you just take this, there's so much opportunity here. And if that person isn't interested and willing to contribute, they get fired. That's how a company runs. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to fire them. I'm just giving you an education because how can you continue to give money to an employee who's not doing what the boss wants them to do? That business will not sustain, gang. But it's your decision, not mine. But my account is my husband. Well, then we need to have a serious discussion. And I've had that happen before. Here's what I say to that person. Don't fire your husband. Take the tax returns he's filed and give them to another accountant for a second opinion and create a partnership with that other accountant and continue to sleep with your husband. That would be a wonderful thing. But we're not going to sleep with the accountant, but we're going to take the tax returns filed and say, hey, guy, you double check my husband's work. Shh, I don't trust him, but I'd like to create a partnership with you and I want to stay married. We can have fun with this. There are no excuses, gang. There aren't any. There's a barrier we may create for ourselves, but there's no excuses. So the fear of failure is essentially you and I would do this. We would role play. Sherry, it's Paulie. Hey, thanks for doing my taxes for the past 5 years. You're absolutely wonderful. Never been audited. Everything is fantastic. I love you. And I hired a coach this year so that I can work with my partners and we can make money together. He'll host a call for us, 15, 20 minutes. The guy's fantastic. He'll educate us. He'll show us some ways we can make money together. And I would love to set that up next week. What day and time works for you? Great. I'll send you the Zoom link. Come on. Paulie, I don't want to do it with you. I want to do it on my own. Great. I taught you how to do it. Go do it. I'm not ready for that. I still want the training wheels. Listen, everybody starts riding a bike with training wheels. Nobody gets on a bike without training wheels. So why would you take a brand new concept that makes perfect sense and try and get on a bike without training wheels? That's senseless. When you have somebody that says, I'm your training wheels. Did you ever see an 18-year-old riding a bike with training wheels? Eventually they come off. But in the beginning, everybody starts with them because it makes sense. So Sherry, this has nothing to do with fear of failure. This is pure data, and we take emotion out of the data. That's why I give you the data. There's no emotion here. It's just data. Then you just plot it into here. So everybody really should take this today and say the one call I'm making today is to my accountant. One call. And we're going to have a conversation. It's not threatening. It's not blackmail. I'm not going Italian style on you. We're going to have a nice conversation with someone that knows what I do. I've been paying for 3, 4, 5 years, and we could be doing things together. That's going to be our conversation. I love you enough to share this with you. I want to bring this to your attention. Great. Go for the call, gang. One call. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing changes. Then what you've learned is now as the CEO, you have to make a change. You're going to either keep giving money to somebody that doesn't want to help you, or you're going to make a change. If you don't change it, you've chosen it. Your call. I'll take a breath. What are your thoughts, ladies? Anybody, please. Sherry, thank you for participating today. I know it's tough to do that when you're on your job, but this was at least great from my perspective to see if I can provide some insight to maybe do something that you haven't done yet that will reveal opportunities to you because the data tells us that it does.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Anything else, ladies? We're good? That's a wrap. Have a great day, ladies. I'll see you next Monday.